Okay, if I can hold this thing still enough, what I thought I'd do is show you guys a little bit about what it takes to build an amp from scratch. This is a chassis that I've got laid out all my drilling marks on, as you can see from right to left. This chassis is 4 inches deep this direction, 2 5/8 this way, and 21 inches long going down this way. This particular chassis is for a Tweed era style Fender amp, which is what I'm getting ready to build. On this particular amp, I've got 6 preamp tubes, 2 octal power tubes, and a octal rectifier that's going to go on the bottom side, which is what I've got laid out right here. So you can see the 6 preamp tubes, some other markings, my 2 power tubes, a rectifier, and the 2 markings on the end. Originally what I tried to do was I tried to lay these all out to where I would have room on this end right here to put an IEC style plug so the cord could be removed, because I asked the owner what they preferred, and that was the first choice rather than have a permanent cord attached. But as I laid all these out, and that light's shining, I'm going to turn that away. What I found out was the footprint ran out of real estate, because right here I've got to have my 2 output jacks for my 8 ohm and 16 ohm, and I also need the 2 jacks to go to my foot switch for this particular amp. I've got 2 that are going to be foot switched on here. One is reverb and one is vibrato, but for all intents and purposes, everybody calls it tremolo nowadays. It actually isn't, because tremolo is a volume modulation, where vibrato is a pitch modulation, but everybody calls the pitch modulation nowadays tremolo. That's okay, whatever. But then I still needed room to add RCA jacks. I have to have 2 RCA jacks that go to the reverb tanks. There's one here and one here, there and there. The normal spacing, I've got another chassis right here. I'm going to set this one aside a second. Granted, this is 9-pin holes, but you can knock them out to octals. The standard spacing, what you usually have to do is put them roughly about 2 inches on center, if you'll notice mine right there. The rough guide for the minimal spacing between these 2 holes right here is 1.5 times times the outside diameter of the hole itself, and this is a 3/4 inch hole, so the minimum spacing ends up to be 1.5 inches. I didn't want to go minimum, so on these particular ones, on this blank chassis I'm getting ready to drill, are 1 3/4 inches center on center. Now then you also need to look at the positioning of your mounting holes right here to mount your 9-pin tube sockets, because you want to try to orient those to where you have your best layout for which way you're going to go. Now, again, I'm going to put this other chassis up here. This other chassis actually is a modulus chassis, and you can see the holes. It's actually a top mounted socket, but I can set it in from the reverse side. The holes lend itself to where I can get, here's my gap between the 2, so I start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My heater wires can come right here tucked up tight against the chassis, I can still get my 3 wires of my triode right here, or 3 wires of my triode right here, easily gotten to without crossing over everything. So that works out pretty good with the alignment that this Modulus chassis has. But on the Fender chassis, you'll notice that my holes are lined up different, because if I, and this will actually be upside down, so that it's going to be like that, I can either go with my opening towards there, or go with my opening right there towards that direction. I want my opening towards that direction down there to keep my heaters out as close as possible, because I'm going to route them same way along the inside of this lip that comes down through here. So those are some things you need to take in mind when you're laying out your chassis before you start knocking it out, and then you end up with a whole bunch of shit. Now, I will verify before I drill these mounting holes in these octal sockets that that's the best location there on those, if I want to go that direction, or if I want to turn the octal socket. Hang on a minute. I didn't think about this ahead of time, sorry guys. To where it needs to be mounted like that, which is actually like that, with the keyway towards the front, or with the keyway towards the rear. For me, the keyway is better towards the rear because of the access to pin 2 and pin 2 and pin 7 for your wiring. So I can either wire it like this, or I can move the holes and turn it over like that.